Hello, my monstrosities. Hello once again. Today I bring to you Grotmas Day 14 on day 15. I'm doing it after everybody because I just want to throw in my 2 cents because I do know a little thing or two about orcs. Not the most, but not the least, I guess. There's a lot of orc people to tell you how good this is. Probably have already seen everybody tell you how good it is, but I wanted to throw in the funny ha-has that I find currently possible, unless they OGW. OGW. But yeah, so I don't know if everybody's seen it. So to that end, excuse me, if you are new around here and you're wondering where everybody is finding the rules for these things, it's Warhammer Community Downloads, Grotmas Detachments. It will be there. Cool. That's where that will be. So let's talk about Tactical Brigade. Listen, once per battle round in your command phase, or after being set up on the battlefield in your movement phase, each boss snip rot, mech, and war boss model in your army can issue tactics. I don't know if you could tell. I love this. I already love it. I haven't even said what everything does, but man, they gave orcs the ability to issue commands, and with each new Grotmist detachment, I wonder, man, why did they do this to Warrior Bioform Onslaught and Hex Warp Thrall Band? Um, but hey, to do so, select one or two of the tactics abilities below, and select one friendly Orcs unit within 6 inches of that model to issue them to. Just unit. Doesn't say shit like infantry, doesn't say boys, doesn't say none of that shit. Just Orcs unit, okay? If you selected 2 tactics, that model must take a leadership test. If failed, the selected unit suffers D3 mortal wounds. Important to note, it doesn't say battle shock test, it says leadership. So you don't become battle shocked. And you might suffer D3 mortal wounds. Still not guaranteed. So hey, until the start of your next command phase, the selected unit is affected by the selected tactics. A unit cannot have tactics issued to it in this way more than once per battle round. Tactics abilities cannot be issued to battle shocked units, and if a unit affected by tactics becomes battle shocked, all tactics cease to affect that unit while it is battle shocked. So be careful versus Tyrannids, Chaos Knights, Demons, I guess. Get stuck in. You can re-roll charge rolls made for this unit. Get on with it. Add 1 to the strength characteristic of melee weapons equipped by models in this unit. Sneaky Stalking. Infantry and mounted models, excluding Mega Knobs, in this unit have the stealth ability, and each time a ranged attack targets this unit, those models have the benefit of cover against that attack. Shooter Drills. Each time an infantry or mounted model in this unit makes a ranged attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Also, Storm Boys become battle line. Orcs, Orcs are winning. Whew, this is good. This is very good. Um, man, I know everybody still like Star Shatter Arsenal really won, but I think don't get me wrong, okay? Hear me out at least, please. I think with the way the meta is shaping after the balance update and the things that are coming out for other detachments, I do think that so many things are going to be tailoring for something like Star Shatter Arsenal that they don't realize that they need to watch out for Solar Spearhead, and then more infantry based things like Fly Blown Host and Creations of Bile. Shit, the Drukari one, Reaper's Wager, and now this Tactical Brigade. I think it's looking pretty nice. I think it's looking pretty nice. Squad leader. For 15 points, War Boss model only during the declared battle formation step, the bear can be attached to a commander's unit. While leading the commander's unit, it has the infiltrators and stealth abilities. Funny things, because GW did this funny, haha, of not only making a keyword the same name as a model, they did it in like several places. Well, I shouldn't say several, at least 2. Mechs and war bosses. So technically, war bosses as the keyword can be the squad leader for commandos. Good old G Dubs. Mech Captain, 35 points. Big Mech in Mega Armor, or Big Mech with Shock Attack Gun model only. During the declared battle formation step, the bearer can be attached to a Flaskets unit. Each time a model in the bearer's unit makes a ranged attack, you can reroll the hit roll. Honestly, I first read it, and I was like, you can already reroll the hits. But it's hits of 1, thanks to the mechs. This is like straight up the entire hit roll, which I don't know if you know, is pretty darn good for Flask Itch and a Big Mick with Shock Attack Gun. That's what everybody's going to tell you to take it with. Um, yeah, it's just good. Orks KUNNIN, 15 points. Orks model only. After both players have deployed their army, select up to 3 Orc units from your army and redeploy them. When doing so, you can put them into strat reserves regardless of how many are already in there. This is a good thing. Redeploy is nice, especially if you know, go for the commandos like twice over. That is 2 units that have infiltrated with 10 models. So you deploy them aggressively just so that your opponent can't put their infiltrators or get a good scout move off, and either put them, well, you're redeploying them with another infiltrate into a safer position probably. It's nice. That's just one thing you could do with it. Of course, redeploys are just good anyway. And we got Gob Boomer, 10 points. War Boss or Mech model only. Each time the bearer issues tactics, it can do so to a friendly Orcs infantry or Orcs mounted unit within 18 inches instead of 6. That's a great points filler, given what the detachment is. If you can't tell, I love this. I think I said that in this take, but hey. That's ours for 1 CP. Command phase. 1 Orcs unit from your army that is within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units until the start of the next command phase. Add 1 to the objective control characteristic of models in your unit. Let's just, for the hell of it, say that you have 20 boys. That is now 30 OC. Oh my goodness. And then if they cut some down, they are probably making up for the ones lost, right? It's crazy. Crimson Descent, your charge phase. Just after a Storm Boys unit from your army ends a charge move for 1 CP, that Storm Boys unit, tank shock. Basically, select 1 enemy unit within engagement range of your unit, then roll 1d6 for each model in your unit that is within engagement range of the enemy unit for each 4-up, 1 mortal wound, max of 6. Fight Proper, 1 CP, Fight Phase. 1 Orcs Infantry or Orcs Mounted unit from your army that has not been selected to fight. You get sustained hits 1 or lethal hits until the end of the phase melee for the melee weapons in your unit. It's kind of hard to argue that this just isn't the... this clears most of the Orcs detachments. Even as a Dread Mob lover, I think this one takes it, and it's definitely better than Bully Boys, better than Green Tide. I think it's better than Warhorde. I don't have much faith in Warhorde, if I'm being honest. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good. We know it's good. But is it good because it worked on everything, or is it good because it's, like, the best strats? Okay, it actually has pretty good strats, too. Either way, all I'm saying is that giving your units things is good. So, I think that this is... Fight Proper just takes this entire detachment to where you can easily say it's pretty darn good. On to the next. For 1 CP, your opponent's movement phase just after an enemy unit falls back. 1 Orc unit from your army that was within engagement range of that enemy unit at the start of phase. Your unit can make a normal move of up to 6 inches. Funny thing you can do with that one. Tactical Retreat. For 1 CP, your movement phase just after an Orc unit from your army falls back, that Orc unit can shoot and declare charge after it fell back. And finally, Dead Sneaky for 1 CP, end of your opponent's fight phase. 1 Commandos or Storm Boys unit from your army that is not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units. Remove your unit from the battlefield and place it in the strat reserves. You get an uppy downy for Commandos or Storm Boys. It's nice. It's nice. It is a very... It's a surprisingly good detachment. Like, GW really picked up the pace from that first week, if I'm being honest. They threw out some ones that I'm just like, what are we doing? And now they're like, hey, I promise we actually tried to design them. We did. So now, Tactical Brigade. Be prepared to see a lot of it. Be prepared to see a lot of it. Now, on to the thing that I do over on this channel. Find the funny, or things that at least make me laugh. Starting with the beast boss on Squiggleshore. It is a war boss that, while this model is leading a unit, add one to charge rolls made for that unit. You can target this model's unit with the heroic intervention stratagem for 0 CP, and you can do so even if you've already used it on a different unit this phase. So it's a war boss. It is mounted. For 15 points, you can attach it to commandos. That way, they all infiltrate in stealth, +1 to charge, free heroic intervention, reroll the charge if you want, +1 to strength on the melee characteristics. Already have stealth and benefit of cover from squad leader, but, you know, just to throw out the fact that it is still a war boss. I've already said should be throwing the beast boss and Squiggleshore and Bully Boys, so honestly, a lot of the things that I initially thought are just repeats from my Bully Boys video, that's funny. And then also to think that you can pull them back up at the end of your opponent's fight phase. So you attach Beast Boss and Squiggleshore to commandos. Free heroic intervention. Free heroic intervention into your opponent. Beat some ass. Probably with +1 strength on the melee weapons. And then pick them up. And then possibly do that again on another turn. With them having +1 to charge from the beast boss on Squiggleshore. I find that to be really funny. That's pretty funny to me. It has a 5 feel no pain, giving it stealth and the benefit of cover. Yeah, that's I likes that. So, you know, let's look at the commandos. I also forgot to mention on that one. Thankfully I thought ahead and did put this tab here even though I already knew what I was going to do. With Sneaky Surprise, enemy units cannot use Fire Overwatch to shoot at this unit. So, you now have a Beast Boss on Squiggleshore attached to commandos with free heroic intervention, +1 to charge, possibly reroll charge. It can't be Fire Overwatched. That's funny. Once per battle in your opponent's shooting phase before making a saving throw for a model in this unit, you can deploy the Distraction Grot. If it does, until the end of phase, models in this unit have a 5 up invulnerable save. For an infiltrating stealth unit that now has grenades. Because, technically, this counts with War Boss. I don't know how they're going to errata it. They're probably just going to put it in an FAQ or something, maybe, if they don't want that to happen. But for now, oh, that's funny. That's funny and actually pretty good for 15 points. For 15 points. I'm sorry. Just, I want everybody to understand for a brief moment. For 15 points, you have 11 models that have infiltrated with stealth, possibly a 5 up invul, free heroic intervention. And then at the end of your opponent's phase can just leave after that with +1 to charge, reroll charge. Can't be Fire Overwatched. Like, they just have to absorb the blow. That is fucking funny. So yeah, I love that. 120 +130 +15. You know what? I'll do it for some funnies. Then you have the Beast Boss, which is also a war boss. Yeah, you could attach to commandos. While this model is leading a unit, each time a model in this unit and that unit makes a melee attack, add 1 to the hit roll. Each time this model makes a charge move, until the end of the turn, melee weapons it is equipped with have devastating wounds. Okay, so check it out. Beast Boss with a bunch of Beast Snagger boys, monster hunters. Each time a model in this unit makes an attack that targets a monster or vehicle, you can re-roll the hit roll. But 20 models, fuck ton of attacks, right? Fuck ton of attacks here. Give that sustained. Probably don't need lethals. You could do this in Warhorde, right? You could have done this in Warhorde. But you could also give them +1 to strength for their melee. So that's already, maybe this might get out of hand really quickly. Really fucking quickly. So, you have all of that to say, right? And because they're battle line, maybe after all that shenanigans is done and in another command phase, you give them additional CP. And then if somebody's still remaining, you can fall back, shoot, and charge with this unit. Oh, I love it. But it doesn't stop being funny there, right? Because you could bring a hunter rig, right? And I've already talked about this combo, so you already know where I'm going with this. It's a little worse because it's not in Warhorde, where you would be getting sustained for it on top of that, or Kareen. But for each model embarked with this transport, add 1 to the attack characteristic of this model's Butcher Boy's weapon to a maximum of 6. The attack characteristics of this weapon can be modified even though it is an extra attacks weapon. So, you now have 10 attacks on Butcher Boys, with Savage Horns and Hooves, and they clarified you can use all extra attacks weapons, right? 4 more, 6 here with the Saw Blade. So 20 attacks, right? 5, 8, 10. But you can issue a tactic to this unit to give it an additional strength on those melee weapons. So now you have 20 attacks. These are 6. You have 10 attacks at strength 6, AP 1, damage 1, anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4 up, right? These are strength 9, AP 1, damage 3, the lance. And these are strength 11, AP 1, damage 2. Oh, and I should probably put it here too. If that's not enough, because you have mechs, you can target this at the end of your movement phase. So not only after you've gotten the mech in place, right? At the end of the movement phase, and that's good that they did this for Listen here, right? Your mech can regen D3 lost wounds on your vehicle because it is still a vehicle, right? It doesn't qualify as a monster, which is also funny. Each time that vehicle model makes an attack, add 1 to the hit roll. So, now, this hits on 2s, this hits on 3s, this hits on 2s. 20-something fucking attacks, +1 strength. That's a lot of funny. That's a lot of funny. And I love it. And I fucking love it. Oh, and I guess I should mention it here too. That because it's an Orks unit, if they try to leave from engagement with your fucking hunter rig, you can pop a CP and then just chase after them of a normal move of up to 6 inches. Or fall back, shoot, and charge if you really want to put the Evi Laba into a target after you've gotten tied up. Also, Tank Busters. They got a new data sheet, and Breaker Boys are entirely new. You probably want to look to put these in here. Tank Hunters, each time a model in this unit makes a ranged attack that targets a monster vehicle, add 1 to the hit roll and add 1 to the wound roll. Twice per battle, after this unit ends a normal move, you can select one enemy unit within 12 inches of it and roll 1d6 on a 2-up. That enemy unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. Guess what happens? This is a normal move. If you use on to the next on Tank Busters, you can then select an enemy that probably will still be within a foot of it and roll a d6 thanks to bomb squigs. That's pretty fucking funny. Also, once per battle, when the bearer's unit is selected to shoot in your shooting phase, the bearer can use its pulsar rocket. If it does, until the end of the phase, improve the strength AP. That is option number 1 for the war gear. You can either do that, or you can give one of them an additional rocket launcher. And these can be attached to anything that looters can attach to. And I guess while we're here, let's see what looters can be attached to, right? The Big Mech, the Big Mech with shock attack gun, a mech, or a paint boy. So you can put them with a Big Mech with shock attack gun, give them reroll hit rolls of 1 at ranged with all of these rocket launchers that are strength 9, right? That's that's pretty nice. Pretty nice. They go in over to the Breaker Boys. Each time this unit declares a charge, you can reroll the charge roll. Twice per battle, same thing with the bomb squigs as we just saw. These can be attached to anything that boys can be attached to. So, let's pull up the boys. Let's pull up the boys. So, Big Mech with shock attack gun, Mech, Pain Boy, War Boss, Weird Boy. All the fun things, right? But this, looking at the Breaker Boys, the thing about them is they're melee weapons. Choppa, we know what a Choppa is. 4 attacks hitting on 3, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. Since a war boss can attach, you're probably going for hitting on 2s. And with that said, Knuckle Busters, anti-monster 4-up, anti-vehicle 4-up, twin linked. Okay? 5 attacks, hitting on 3s, strength 5, AP 1, damage 1. Smash Hammer, anti-monster, anti-vehicle 4-up, 2 attacks hitting on 3, strength 6, AP 2, damage 3. Tank Hammer, anti-monster 4-up, anti-vehicle 4-up, devastating wounds, hazardous. 2 attacks hitting on 3, strength 6, AP 2, damage 3. Oh my gosh, this is really nice. This is really nice. And that's not even thinking about the fact that, well, you give them +1 strength on it. Or the +1 to hit at range, going back over to the tank busters and re-rolling ones. Everybody's probably told you now about the flash gets attached to the Big Mech with shock attack gun, so I'm not going to cover that here. We already know that's a good combo. But the final thing that's actually really funny, and this one I'm just being hyperbolic for the sake of it though, Gargantuan Squigoth, also, could be a Stomper. Nothing here is too special. I mean, I guess technically they both have the walk over ruins thing. Walk over terrain features that are 4 inches or lesser height that you could do from the whole Titanic rules. But the other thing that's funny is that on to the next and Tactical Retreat don't have a restriction. I mean, yeah, I guess technically that's ours. Doesn't either. But if somebody gets away from either of these units in engagement range, you could use this as additional movement to just move where you want to really have lines of whatever the fuck you want. You could also fall back, shoot, and charge if you wanted to make sure you could get the cannon or the super cannon off. And I guess to that point, let's look at the Stomper in case you want to get the Death Cannon or the super rockets off. Well, hell, while we're here, let's go through Morkanatu. Has rocket launchers. And the custom Mega Zappa. So, if you want to bring Titanic, this gives them a fallback shoot and charge for Tactical Retreat. That's insane. That is insane. So, yeah, that's Tactical Brigade. It's pretty darn nice. I'm surprised at how nice it is, but I'm not mad at it. So, yeah, if you like the video, like it. Got a comment for me, comment. And until next time, peace out, my monstrosities.